One way to make your website functional is by generating leads, selling products, or letting your customers or visitors interact with your website using forms. And Fluent Forms does this. But the question is, how well does Fluent Forms do this? So we are going to do a review of Fluent Forms 5.0. So the first thing we want to take a look at is how easy is it to install this? So over here, I have a blank WordPress website running Divi, but of course you can use any page builder. So over here, I'm going to go to plugins, click on add new. On the top right here, I'm going to search for Fluent Forms. So straight away, we can see that Fluent Forms has been installed more than 300,000 times. This is crazy. And look at the 5-star review. I mean, this is 461 5-star reviews. This is amazing. But of course, we want to take a look and see if this is really that amazing. So I'm going to go ahead now and click on install now, and then we're going to go ahead and activate. Next, we're going to see an entry here on this side, which says Fluent Forms. So let's click on that and see what happens. So right away, we see that we have these two demo forms. It's a contact form and subscription form. So if you want to take a look at it, all you have to do is to click here on preview, and this now opens in a new tab, and this is what it looks like. But what I really like here is the fact that I can go and just copy my shortcode here on the top, and this is where I can go in and paste it on my page. But before we do that, let's take a look at other features. So over here, if we go to edit fields, this now is going to take us back to the builder here, and we can see that all our fields are here on the right side. So let's say I want to add country list. I can just click on it, and now it has been added. And this is a drag and drop system. So notice that when I click and drag, I can actually position this wherever I want, which is pretty cool. So we also have time and date, we have multiple choice, we also have radio field. So these are very, very easy to use. So let's play around with the radio field for now. So when you drag and drop a field on this side, if you click on it, it opens up here where we can go in and customize it. So let's say, so we can add a question here which says, do you like Fluent Forms? And the answers here are yes and no, but we can add another one by clicking here on this plus button, and we can say maybe. So right away, we can see it's updating here. So every time you make some changes, you want to go ahead and click on save, and this will save all your fields. Next, you want to do a quick preview. Just come over here to the top and click on preview and design. And this will show you now pretty much everything. Look at that. So we have all our fields here. Now let's take a look at the advanced fields. So if I come over here and click on advanced, you can see that we have many more fields that we can add. We have page break, we have terms and conditions, we also have a password, a GDPR agreement, and so on. Now, some of these features are grayed out. Now, this is mainly because this is not the pro version. Anyway, so let's continue here. So we can customize the submit button as well. We can also add containers here like that. And we also have some payment fields, but this is a pro feature. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to install the pro version, and then we can play around with that and see how powerful that is. So to install the pro version, all you have to do is to come back over here to plugins and then click on add new. Now I've already gone ahead and downloaded it, and I also have my license key. And by the way, if you want to have a 20% discount, I have a really cool coupon code. It's MAC20. This will give you 20% off. The link to that is in the video description below. All right, so let's go ahead and upload this plugin. I'm going to click here on upload, and then I'm just going to drag and drop it here like that, or you can just click on choose file and navigate where it is on your computer. Next, I'm going to click install now, and then we're going to go ahead and activate. The next step now is to add our license key. So I'm going to hover over here where it says Fluent Forms, and then I'm going to go to global settings, and here I have this option to activate now. So once you enter your license key, all you have to do is to activate the license, and pretty much you're going to be unlocked and you're going to have access to all the awesome features. Now, the one thing I like about Fluent Forms is they have some pre-made forms. Now, if I click here, you notice that we have some templates, and we also have conversational forms. Now we are going to take a look at this in a moment, but let's take a look at the templates. So if I click here on template, notice that we have a ton of these. So if you want to do something to do with marketing, you can just click here on marketing and look at that. We have a polling form, we have a client satisfaction survey, we have a customer complaint form, and so on. So we have a very, very good starting point, saving us hours and hours of going in and trying to create these forms by ourselves. Look at that. If you come over here to product, it also has a product survey form. It has an online service order form and so on. So there are different categories that we can choose from on the left here. We also have non-profit. Look at that. So here we have a volunteer sign-in form, and all you have to do to activate it is to click on create form. Now, once you do that, it's going to bring in all the elements that are needed for this to work. Now, if there's something you don't like, you can always go in here, click on this pencil icon, and this now is going to allow us to rearrange items like that. And by the way, this is drag and drop. Or if there's something you don't want here, you can just click on this minus little item here, and that goes away. So we can go in and really customize this. So let's say you want to make changes to this, you can also click, drag, and rearrange anything you want over here on the form. So as you can see here, I'm dragging and dropping just like that. Very, very easy to use. Now let's take a look at the advanced options. So if I come over here to advanced options, we notice that we have your dynamic fields here. We have container classes. So for those of you that like CSS, we also have your classes here. And we also have conditional logic. So this is super, super powerful. In fact, I am going to be doing advanced tutorials on how to use Fluent Forms. But for now, we're just going to take a look at the features. Now, let's say your form is done. We also have another very important tab here, which is called Settings and Integrations. So I'm going to say OK to that. And this is where we have our confirmation settings. So when someone goes in and fills in the form, this is the message they get. Thank you for your message. We'll get in touch shortly. But not only can you only send a message here, we can also redirect to a specific page. So this could be like a thank you page or a confirmation page to say, hey, we saw your email. We'll respond to you in 24 hours. So this can be a page on your actual website that you can redirect to. All you have to do is to select the page here. But of course, you have to create it first, or you can come to a custom URL, and this is where you just go in and paste the custom URL. Very, very easy to do. Over here, we have our double opt-in. So this is also very important. In fact, in Europe, I think it's recommended that we do double opt-in because of the GDPR, and this is GDPR ready. This is fantastic. So this is where you go in and set your double opt-in. So if you go in and activate it here, we can also set our primary fields, which is most importantly the email. And then this is the message they get. Please check your email inbox to confirm submission. And then once they confirm, they get added onto the mailing list. Now, moving forward, we also have the form layout. So we can also come over here and maximum number of entries. We can also go in and add some restrictions here or scheduling. So there's a ton of features here that we can use. Look at this. We have login requirements as well. So if I go in here, it says user must be logged in to submit the form. So you can create forms for logged in users so that when someone who's not logged in tries to come on the site, they will not get access to that. So that's very, very powerful. Now, if we take a look here as well, we have some survey results in case you've activated surveys, and this is pretty cool. Now, all this is within this Fluent Forms plugin. All right, so let's come back over here. There's also more I can show you. Now, if I come over here to integrations, we are going to notice that we can use Fluent Forms with other services. Now, here we have landing pages enabled, but we also have webhooks. Now, for those of you who are advanced, who know how to use webhooks, it's right there. You can enable it like that. And we also have things like Zapier. We have MailChimp, Campaign Monitor. We also have GetResponse, ActiveCampaign, Drip, and so on. We even have Trello. I mean, the list goes on. So you can see that once you purchase this or once you've invested in Fluent Forms, you are going to have a ton of integrations, and this is going to work well with whatever system that you have already. Now, look at that. The list just continues going on. We also have MailJet. We have even Telegram. This is pretty cool. And obviously, Slack. All right, so these are all the integrations. Now let's take a look at the payments, because in the beginning of the video, I did touch on the fact that if you can also collect payments from Fluent Forms. Okay, so here's where we need to enable this. So we are on this payment tab. So all you have to do is to enable payment module. Now, once you've done that, this is where you come in and add your business name. So I'm just going to say Mag, and then I'm just going to say 223 Zelig Building. Now, I'm going to add my business logo, but this is where you'd add your business logo. And then over here on this tab, this is where you add your currency. And this is how I want it to look. And then over here is the page and subscription management. So here is your management page. So you would have to create it beforehand, and then the redirect receipt page. So this is where you would add it. Now, once you hit save settings, this saves. So here on the payment methods, we have Stripe. So you want to go ahead and enable Stripe. And this is where you can connect it from here. And it's very, very easy to connect, but you do need to have a Stripe account for this to work. Okay, next we also have the PayPal standard. So again, you can enable PayPal here. And this is where you would add your PayPal email address and then save PayPal settings. Now, of course, you're wondering how then can we use this payment module in our forms? Well, that is very easy. Now, let me show you how to do that. If I come over here now to new form, I can create a blank form. Now, let's say I'm going to collect the name fields, the email. Now, to add the payment fields, I have to scroll all the way down here to payment fields like that. So here it is. I can click now on subscription, or I can go to payment item. So if I click on payment item, you can see here it says now payment item. I can click in here and I can give this a name. So I can say Divi course, for example, or Divi template like that. The amount, let's say this is $97. I can come back to my input fields here, and then I can add my payment method. I can click on that and then pay with PayPal. So pretty much this is done. I can now click on save form, preview and design, and there we go. So I can add my first name, last name, email address, and this is the product, submit form, and this now will redirect to PayPal, as you can see here. But of course, this is not public yet, so this is why I'm getting this error. But as you can see, this is how easy it is to add something on your form to accept payments. Now, the other thing I like about Fluent Forms is the ability to show us all the stats. So here I can see that there is one entry. So if I click here on entries, this is going to show us visually what is happening on our site. So as you can see here, I have an entry here for this blank form. But of course, if someone is going in and adding their name, email address, the information is going to be shown here. And you can also select a form. So let's say your subscription form here had some users who submitted. You can select it here, and the information is going to be shown here with a graph that shows you what's happening. Now over here on the top, we also have the payments. So this is going to show you, how many people have paid and who and so on. So as you can see here, I have this one here. It's pending because of course it's not complete, but this is where I get the list of all my customers. Now again, I can choose the form by selecting it here. I can choose the status as well. So there's a lot of ways that I can go in and choose the amount of data that I need to show on the transactions. So this is very, very powerful. Okay, now the question is, how do we add these forms onto our web page? Now, let me show you how easy that is. All you have to do is to come over here to forms, and this is going to show you the list of all the forms that we've created on our site. Just hover over any one of these, or just come over here to shortcode and click on shortcode like that. Now, this code has been added onto my page. All I have to do now is to add a new page and create a new page where I can add this shortcode, and this is where my form is going to show. So here we are. I'm just going to call this test. Use Divi Builder, but of course, if you want to use the default editor, Gutenberg, that works as well. If you want to use Elementor, that works as well. And also, if you want to use any page builder, this form is going to work pretty much anywhere. All right, so let's build from scratch. And all I'm going to do here is add a single column, and I'm going to add a text module. Now, I can add a text module, or I can add a code module. So now I can just paste my shortcode like that, save, and now we can see that our form has been added. Now let me exit, let me save and exit the Visual Builder so we can finally see the form and what it looks like. So if I click here on exit, here we go. So you can see here, volunteer sign up, blah, blah, blah. We can go in now and interact with the form like that. We can add our name over here, the address, city, phone number, email, and then we can submit the form. But it looks beautiful, it's clean, and it's part of the website as well. So this is really, really cool. The next form I need to take a look at is a conversational form. This is one of the best features on Fluent Forms. All right, so let's click on Add New Form here. And as you can see, we have the option for blank form, choose a template, and create conversational form. Now this is where we're going to go into. And now look at this editor here. So these are the fields that we can add and edit. So let's say I want to get rid of this one here. I can just delete it like that. So the first part is going to be asking for the name. So if I click here, I can say, what is your name? And then on the next field here, I can go in and say, provide your email. Now this next part, it says subject, but I don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And then come to my inputs and add something else. So I'm going to say, okay, multiple choice. And then I'm going to click on it so I can go in and customize it. So I'm going to say, what page builder do you use? And then over here, I'm going to add my options. So it's going to be Divi, Elementor. If I need to add more fields, I can just click on this plus button and I'm going to say bricks. So I'm just going to save my form for now so that I can save all my fields. Okay, now let's add another one. So I'm going to go with time and date. And again, I'm going to click on it. And here I'm going to say, book your time and date, or when are you available? Now, if you want to make this field required, you can go ahead and say yes. And then once you've done that, we can go now and click on save form. And let's do a quick preview. So now we can see that it says, what's your name? So I'm just going to say Mac, hit enter, provide your email. I'm going to say, okay. What page builder do you use? I'm just going to click here to select. So I'm going to go with Divi and then I'm going to say, okay. And now it's asking me, when are you available for a chat? So I'm going to say the 27th of July and then hit submit. And now this says, now, thank you for your message. We'll get in touch with you shortly. This is really, really cool. But not only can you do this, you can actually go in and customize this conversational form. Now, let me show you how to do that. Here on the top, we have a tab which says design. So I'm going to click on that. And look at that. I can now go in and choose my font. So as you can see here, I've got plenty of fonts to choose from. In fact, I like using pop-ins. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And now you can see that it's been updated. So I can go in and change my colors for my answers, my button text, background, and so on. I can even upload a background image over here. So let's say I'm going to upload that one. You can see now I have an image there in the background. But the really cool thing is I can actually dim this so that my text is easier to read. Look at that. So now this is much easier to read. I can also say disable layout on mobile devices. I can also disable scroll to next, but this actually scrolls to the next, which is really, really cool for mobile devices. So now if you don't want to add an image, you can just go ahead and delete that and add a background color. So just like that, I can add a color here in the background, but ideally you want to add a color where it's easier to read your text. So I'm going to go with something like that. But of course you can go around and play around with your colors here if you really want to customize this further. So that's my form. Now I also have a link here which just goes directly to this conversational form, which means you don't have to copy the short code and paste it on your page. This will just come in as a complete page that fills the whole screen. Now let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to copy this URL like that, and then I'm going to go and paste it by opening this in a new tab, and I'm going to paste it like that. Now this is what this is going to look like. It pretty much covers the whole screen, making sure that there's no distractions. So as you can see, this is a really powerful form for WordPress, and I highly, highly recommend it. As I mentioned earlier on, I have a 20% discount. The code is MAK20, MAC20, and you get 20% discount. The link to that will be in the video description below. All right, let me know what you think. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.